Did you ever think No Views was gonna come back?
I heard rumors, but I wasn't sure.
I was committed to bringing the show back.
It's back.
We actually got a fan submission back in October. This was from Ayrton Parham, and he says, Dear Frankie, big fan of your stuff for years now. I'm not sure you remember, but you were kind enough to watch my 40-minute film, Only Puppets Kill, some years back. You offered very kind and supportive comments, which meant a lot to me. It's true, I did. He found me through the George Lucas cartoon. And he was like, I like your cartoon a lot. But the time for kindness has ended. Now I hope you'll rip me to shreds. Here's a time travel comedy I made in 2013, and let's just say there are a lot of teachable moments. At the very least, I'd get a kick out of you and the gang tearing it apart. Thanks again for all your great content. So yeah, the movie is called Times In.
All right.
It's got 117 views.
Okay, so not very many views.
Let's give it a try.
All right.
It's 3 minutes and 45 seconds.
Okay.
iMovie font.
The slightly incorrectly looped clicking sound was already an annoyance.
Oh yeah, the metronome wasn't really.
Yeah, it didn't, when it was looping, it didn't loop correctly. Oh dear.
Get in. What? Oh. Who are you?
I'm you from the future.
Are you sure?
It's like EJ's movie.
You look like me. I mean,
Well, that's because I'm from the future and I'm older.
I don't know. I still don't believe you.
This reminds me a lot of like our really early stuff.
Like where there's serious breaks in continuity.
Yeah.
I changed.
You sit out in the sun a lot, or?
Oh, no, that's not the point.
Oh.
The point is,
They both seem really uncomfortable on camera.
Yes.
Okay. Well, what do you want
Like,
from me?
are we sure we should be making a movie?
Yeah.
What?
Sirius Hernandez, the warlord who will take over the world.
I mean, I guess the composition's okay. I mean, what can you really do?
Yeah, well, so there's always the challenge of shooting from the back seat.
Yeah.
You know why.
Small comment, bad audio can make your
Yes.
visuals look bad.
Yeah.
You know, audio contributes a lot to selling the illusion of continuity.
Absolutely. Yeah, and if the audio was really stellar here and I could really hear everything very well and there wasn't a lot of car rumble and all that, I would forgive more of the visuals.
So obviously there's problems with the audio recording.
Yeah.
If they had had lav mics,
Yep.
it would have helped a lot. But what I was going to talk about was, and this is just a very common issue that people have, and it's actually really easy to fix. So everybody should do it when they make their movies. When you cut from one clip to the next, there is an audio break where the waveform breaks, and that causes a clicking sound.
Yes.
Small comment, bad audio can make your visuals look bad. That can be solved by a one-frame audio transition. Small comment, bad audio can make your visuals look bad. You're finished editing your video, and you know full well there's clicks throughout the whole thing. All you have to do is set a default audio transition of one frame and apply default transition to your entire timeline.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, it makes a big difference. Even with if you have different room tones between two shots.
Yeah.
Just a small transition so that it doesn't click.
Yeah, you don't get that sudden DC offset.
It started with the shutdown of the Hostess factory. Sirius was able to make his move and take over. Without treats, there is no peace.
I mean, I understand they're trying to keep it interesting by bringing that shot kind of to the other side of him, but it's a little disorienting. I mean, I understand, what could you really do?
They also, the fact that they were shooting in close quarters necessitated a wide angle lens.
Yeah.
Which I think does actually play into the comedy idea a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
I would have committed to one setup.
Yeah.
I think shooting basically the same shot in two different ways is not the best. This reminds me of early that we did.
Yeah.
for teenagers in long coats.
Yes.
This is the color's a little bit flat. You could resolve that pretty easily with even just a simple color correction utility in Premiere.
It's just generally overexposed too. I mean, the whole thing.
Yeah, which actually bringing down highlights could help a little.
And this is a static shot and it's shot by hand zoomed way in. So there's not really a whole lot of reason to do that.
This is that general desire to do a fight sequence.
Yeah.
You're right.
Bad audio blip there. I'm struggling to maintain and understand the continuity of the film.
You're safe. Great. Now you can jump back in the future and save the world. Huh? They came to assassinate.
Oh,
So
medium shot to medium shot.
They didn't succeed in that. You can go back in the future
Are we laughing?
and save the world.
I can only go back in time. I can't go back forward.
Then what are we supposed to do? You're going to be an old man,
Oop.
so when I get to your age,
I think this is shot on a DSLR.
Think so?
Well, maybe not. Well, just the fact that they're standing pretty close to one another and one of them's in focus and one's not. So there's some kind of fancy lens.
They're certainly not using lensing in any kind of meaningful way.
Yeah, and that's another thing to think about when you're making your movie is like, how can I choose storytelling lensing? There's that weird effect again.
Yeah, unfortunately, I was too distracted kind of by the technical stuff to get even kind of involved in the jokes.
Storytelling and plot. Is there a strong narrative? Does the film create a compelling world? How well is the story told? Was the subject compelling? Do we even really know quite what happened?
No, I vaguely grasped that he came back from the future to
Do something.
prevent him from dying, basically.
Okay.
And then at the end, there was some kind of snafu with time, and he couldn't go back, so there was going to be two of them going forward.
I actually didn't have any problem with the rhythm.
No, I thought it moved.
They got on with it.
Yeah, I mean, just the whole idea of most of it taking place in a car from the back seat is just kind of unappealing.
Yeah. Little story. There have been times in my filmmaking life where I've made choices to shoot things in a way that was going to make it technically difficult.
Yeah.
We then had a very difficult time accomplishing it.
Yep.
And then we just rethought how it could be staged.
Yeah.
Back of cars, tracking shots. You know, if you can figure out a way to do it just with continuity editing in like a controlled space, that's normally best. If you're looking to do a continuity exercise, which is not a bad idea, some common advice is write a sequence where it's just a bunch of people sitting in a room talking. Because just trying to get eye line correct and getting people to look off camera in the correct continuous direction.
Yeah, it'll really make you think about your eye lines and what you're trying to accomplish.
Where the whole point of the exercise would be to make sure that the audience felt oriented the entire time.
Yeah.
The Council of Elrond was a bit of a nightmare to shoot. It was just one of those eye line nightmares that when you're shooting a scene, you don't want to cross the line. So in other words, if somebody is looking to the left, then you want the next character who's responding to them to be looking to the right. It's called don't cross the line. It's one of the rules of filmmaking. And when you have a group of people, many people in a circle, it becomes an absolute nightmare to figure out who's talking to whom, who's looking at whom, and to get their eye line direction to be correct.
You give that a shot, and I think that would actually help you, like if you wanted to then stage a fight sequence or something, you'd be a little bit more prepared to do that. So the character's fully developed and interesting. 2 of them were bland, and 1 of them was over-the-top acty.
Yes. Yeah, that was about the extent of the characters.
Was the film impacting in some way? Will you think about it tomorrow?
No.
So there you go. So not your strongest work, my friend.
No.
But it doesn't mean to stop creating in any way. We have gotten feedback of like, I don't like watching 2 people shit on something. But that's not really the point. Hopefully you can take away a few pieces of advice.
Yeah. If you're trying to make your own film, trying to make even your own YouTube videos, it's all the same concepts.
Like if there was somebody who was watching this who's never made a film before but has thought to make a film before, I would think watching some people who've done it for a few years, watch some things that don't quite work, and throw in their 2 cents about how it could work better.
That's right.
You could make this a fine little 3-minute and a half movie. It would just need to be redone from the ground up.
Yes.
What the hell are you doing?
I don't know.